What will be the agenda for this training? We will be completing Spring Boot and Java from the microservices point of view. Objective of this training session would be understanding the basic concept of a Spring framework such as dependency injection, managing beans using annotations. So we will be covering XML based configuration as well, because that is something you should know. Understand and the basics of JPA, Hibernate and HQL, different microservices architectural styles. So I'll deep dive. This is a theory session more than a practical one. So I'll talk about what are the principles, what are the different design approach, and how you should think about when creating any scalable solution. We will talk about what should be the app, because it is not always that you should go ahead and monolithic. Sometimes you might need microservices, and most of the time if it is a very highly scalable system, so that is where event driven approach also comes in the picture. So it is not one thing is correct or another thing is wrong. It is based on what you need, what is your expect from the application. You have to design accordingly. Be developing microservices using Spring Boot. We will be using Java 1.8. If you don't have Java 1.8, please go ahead and install it. We will be installing some of the softwares throughout this course, and just for your benefit, I've tried using different IDEs. So I'll be using mainly Eclipse and STS, so that you are familiar and understand the difference of both of these, right? So that's the idea here. There will be session from day 1 to day 5 if you look at the sheet. And with day 1 we will be working on Hibernate, Spring 5.0 framework. Some of this will be left over, I know, because it's a long session. It will move to day 2 as well, where day 2 understanding about web application will be a little thing, like it should not take much of your time. And then we will talk about the pros and cons. We will jump on Spring 2.0 on day 2, and day 3 will be extending and working more functionality on a Spring Boot. Day 4 is mostly a theory part, where we will be discussing microservices, difference between domain, and some of the this gRPC, which is Google remote procedure call. So this is one interesting topic. But I will try to provide some of the practical part into it. Then we will be working on, and this is like some of these things are duplicate because we have already covered microservices, and this is again same thing with the handling request and response. So I should be trying to cover it in the earlier session, and then the last session will be more on 12 factor applications. So there are different factors while designing a microservice application, and then there will be a RabbitMQ based implementation, which I will be covering. With that, the first thing would be we have to install the prerequisites. So you should have Java 1.8, you should have Eclipse, and you should have MySQL. How to download them? Let me show you. This will be your path for J.